Well, Freddie, could you describe exactly what your new sound is on Hot Space and these new gigs you're doing?
Well, it's sort of new, but I mean, it's not totally new because it started off by John writing another one, Bites the Dust, which is on the previous album, and I think since then we sort of decided that we'd sort of carry on that kind of sound. It's basically sort of me. I mean, it doesn't really travel through the group that way. It's sort of, we have individual approaches, really. I sort of opted out for that kind of sound, but if you ask the others, I mean, they probably have.
Yes, you could have gone for a sort of heavy metal approach or something more obvious, but this seemed like a sort of new direction for us, and keep things interesting for us.
So you're not putting it into any kind of category, you just...
Hopefully not.
No. I mean, because on our album we still have lots of different types of music within the, within the spectrum of the, one album. So there's a bit of everything there.
What about your stage act, which is always a huge production? Have you changed that a lot?
That's just completely different. We have a whole new set of sound and lights, and we're doing a lot of the new songs too. The new stuff is, we think, the best we've ever had, because it's the most maneuverable, and it's like UFOs, which can actually follow us around the stage. So I think a lot of people have offered to buy them off us, but they can have them when we finish.
Sounds like secret ingredients.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's an interesting show.
Do you like playing these gigs to these huge kind of stadium-sized audiences? Do you like huge kind of shows like that?
There's a sort of some sort of feeling of event with it, but in another way it's obviously not quite as personal, but it's a lot easier than going around the country for sort of 12 weeks or something and playing in really small places. In some ways it's good, and obviously there are some drawbacks. I think Queen is the sort of group that can put on a big show. We work quite well in that context, whereas not all groups do.
And not all groups manage themselves by any means. I wondered if the fact that you manage yourselves and you have your own recording studios and your own companies and things, is that why you've managed to stay very steadily on the top for the last 10 years without really having to compromise?
It's hard to say. I don't think really that's the reason. That's one of the reasons we've managed to stay together, I think, which is important and often overlooked, But, no, I think the reason that we managed to keep in the public eye is that we change, and we get bored before the public do. I think that's the way we see it.
Well, some of them. The ones that like.
Some get bored anyway.
And now you've all made enough money to kind of look after yourselves for the rest of your lives. Do you ever feel like breaking away and doing something totally different?
Yes, let's break up tomorrow.
Not really, actually, no. Because it's just it's what we do, and it's not really a case of money, it's a case of sort of achievement. And if you have a hit record, it's still a big kick every time. It's still every time.
Everybody thinks we're going to start making solo albums and go our separate ways, but that's not true, because Roger already made a solo album, and it's then when everybody thought, oh yes, that's the breakup with Queen, but obviously didn't happen, and we could all do solo albums, quite soon, but I think Queen will still be together. The moment that we find that there's nothing else to do within Queen, then we'll think differently.
Yeah, it seems that the big simple secret is to really stay the same people, stay together, but keep changing within that sort of format, really.
Well, you've all got university degrees, so I think you ought to get a proper job one day. I think it's great. Lots of luck to you, and thanks very much for coming.
Thank you.
Well, see you soon. And nice to be with us again tonight.